Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Love Is Podcast. I'm excited to welcome the host of the Love Is Podcast, Kim Sorrell. Kim, how are you? And I know you're excited about our guest. We get to talk to her again and some really exciting news as well. So
Yes.
thanks
Yeah.
again,
Big
Kim.
news. Yeah. Nice to see you, Neil. I am so excited to introduce our guest, Dr. Meg Meeker, who is a global leader on child-father relationships, parenting in general. She's had over 5.5 million downloads on her Parenting Great Kids podcast. It's phenomenal. She's sold over 1 million books. She is who I want to be when I grow up. Welcome, Dr. Meeker.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. So I'm so excited. The movie, your book first came, and then the movie, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. And what it's doing now is even bigger and greater, but it's so good. And fathers do play such an essential role in a daughter's life, a son's life as well. But man, those girls, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at a program that you have that's available on your website that probably all dads should do. And one of the things you say on there, you say that fathers should be the man they want their daughters to marry.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating for fathers, but you're absolutely right. You know, fathers, I think, beat themselves up over what they're doing or not doing, and they think about what they need to say or not say, or how much money they should make, or what kind of a home, or what they need. But really, what a daughter wants is for her dad to know her heart and meet her needs and meet her love needs. And when a father can actually affirm his daughter and show affection to his daughter and give attention to his daughter, that's what really cements them together. And that becomes such a big part of who she is, that as she grows older, she gravitates back towards that connection again. And so, we always seek out what we know, not what we want.
Right.
And that's why girls who are abused marry abusers often. But girls who had great dads look for good men. And so that's why dads need to really be that good role model and have that deep connection.
And so that's also challenging with a lot of only single parent families now, and where the father's trying to be involved in so many ways. Yeah, it's such more of a challenge. I'm soon to be a divorcee, and it's like it's a challenge, to build the relationship back up after having to go because the relationship didn't work. What recommendation you give to fathers that are single dads? Meaning like they only see them certain times. How do you build that relationship so that they can see that they're still a great role model in their life?
Absolutely. I think that single dads, divorced dads need to be more patient, and you need to look farther out in the future. You may not arrive at the relationship you want and certainly can have with your daughter when she's 16 or 17. It may take you till she's 25, because you're factoring in so many other things, the pain of a divorce, what ex-mom is saying about dad, so on and so forth. It's very complicated. But single dads need to know a couple things. You absolutely 100% can have a great relationship with your daughter. Maybe not at 15. She may be hostile and thorny and whoever, but that's not who she's going to be when she's 22 or 25, because she'll develop her own relationship with you. And you need to never, never, never give up, because one of the things that happens is that dads who are divorced get pushed aside. They feel they're not important. Their daughters don't want them. They don't like them. They spew fire at them. And so dads shrug their shoulders and go, I give up. Never, never, never do that, because your daughter always wants you. She just doesn't know it yet. And she always needs you. She just doesn't know it yet. So hold on. You need to be able to hold on longer than a married dad. But you can absolutely raise a great daughter and have a great relationship with her.
I love that. In the movie, which they had to come up with a storyline, because your book isn't a story. Your book is the most wonderful advice ever. And so they had to come up with a story. But it seems to me that it really hit those points that you're just talking about. And what we talked about with be the dad that you want your daughter to marry, whatever, everything you've said today. seems to just come through that movie. Do you
Yeah.
feel the same? Were you happy with how it turned out?
I was very happy. I wish that I wish the relationship would have been deeper, but that's hard to create visually. I don't create visual arts. I do writing. And I see a daughter interact with her dad in real life. I see the tears. I see the hugs. I see everything. But I think it depicts it very, very well. And one of the things that I think is really good, is it allows dads to see how huge they are in their daughters' lives that they don't believe. Dads just don't believe it. And then secondly, the influence that a really good dad can have over his daughter. And also, it really shows how a father can be doing what he thinks is best for his daughter and then realize it's really not what she wants or needs, and turn the corner and get in the right direction. And that's what happens with the father in the movie, the main character, trying to give his daughter something that she really doesn't want or need. And then a mentor shows him how to do it, and he turns a corner, and then you see the relationship really start to thrive.
And that's the thing, that you never know what's going to happen in that relationship, and how everything we deal with people and human beings. I think we have to have those conversations. We have to really develop those relationships, because we don't, it's a problem, anything, because we're rubbing off on so many people every day when we interact, and especially with our children, when our kids see how we act, that's how they're going to act. And so it's so important to never give up, as I love that point.
Never.
So never, and to really understand that it's not too late. I think that's what a lot of fathers right now are thinking. It's not too late, especially when they're teenagers. They're not going to be the very best. You just got to be there for them, and they'll remember that.
They'll not only remember it, they'll rely on it, because dad is the one who gives them, in a very real way, daughters, a sense of security and safety and protection. For a daughter to know dad has her back, even if she thinks he's being a jerk right now, that's huge, because her thinking dad's a jerk, it's going to go away. Okay, it's going to go away, particularly if you stay the course and you act like a pretty decent guy, because your daughter needs you. Dad doesn't need his daughter, but he forgets that a daughter needs him. And I always tell dads, every woman takes one man to agree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's often not her husband, it's her dad. Because your dad is your dad is your dad. A husband isn't your dad. Your coach isn't your dad. Your brother's not your dad. Your dad is your dad. And dad always has a capital D. So dad can either choose to stick with his daughter and work things out over time, or he can walk away because she feels he doesn't need it. But when he does that, her heart breaks in two. No matter what she acts like or says or runs away or whatever, even a runaway daughter, if she believes her dad has abandoned her, why in the world should she ever come back?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty powerful and so true. And I think too, as parents, we have this vision of what our kids are going to grow up and do. Mm-hmm. And certainly the dad in the movie had that. He had a vision. But so often the visions that we have for our kids, we have to remember that they're individuals and they will be adults and making their own decisions and have their own vision. Do you see that a lot, where people are trying to inflict their vision on their kids, or disappointed in their kids for not following their vision?
I see it in very enthusiastic, hardworking, conscientious parents. They really sort of craft a lifestyle and a path for their child that they believe with all their heart is best for their child. Every father wants their daughter to go up and to have wonderful children and a great career and a wonderful husband and all these things. And that's wonderful. But they have to realize that the path that she may need to take isn't necessarily the path that you desperately want to carve for her, because it isn't good for her. You know, you kind of need to do it together and to have the freedom to say, you know, my daughter's really good at this and she's not really good at what I'd like her to be good at. And that's just fine. Because if a daughter feels her dad needs to get her into a certain lane in life, she begins to feel, unbeknownst to dad, that she needs to step in that path in order for her dad to continue to love her and accept her. She's so desperate for his love and acceptance. So that's a lot to put on a daughter. So don't do that, but just sort of let your daughter's story unfold and help her along the way rather than select her lane and throw her into it and push her along it, which is what the dad was trying to do.
Oh, that's great. And so now you're excited, not just that it's on PureFlix, but where else is it debuting the film? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's Great American Media, excuse me, Great American Media. It's premiering tonight at Monday 21st at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And it is doing so because it was very popular on PureFlix last year. And so I'm thrilled that it's going to continue to have an impact, because really my heart is to help every single father out there, whether he's in prison, out of prison, making $40 million a year, it doesn't matter, to help him know that he's got what it takes to have a great relationship with daughter. And he just needs a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of help. And that's what I want to do. And I've also started some online group counseling with fathers, which is fabulous.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks again. Best place for you to find information on you is go where?
meekerparenting.com.
All right, guys. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Love Is podcast, guys. Take care.